There's this really incredible study in emotionally focused work, which is kind of rooted in attachment theory. And it took these people and they had this heavy backpack of weight on them, and they had this hill they had to walk up. And they interviewed the people when they had someone that they loved next to them and when they were by themselves. And the people that were by themselves rated the hill higher and the weight on their back heavier. And so there's just something to that. Like when we are with people that care about us, we perceive the challenges in front of us easier than they are maybe necessarily. So that's kind of what I keep coming back to. So I wanted to become a counselor because I thought it was a really awesome opportunity to build relationships and walk next to people. And when I think about counseling, when I think about people considering counseling, that's what I think about. Life can be really hard, right? I think Christ talks about there's a narrow way and there's the broad way, and the broad way leads to destruction. It's easy. It's easy to walk down. It's not hard to walk down that road, but it's kind of hard to walk down the things that I think Christ wants us to do. And sometimes it's easier to walk down that. It's easier to do hard things when you have someone to walk next to you. And as a counselor, that's kind of like what I like to think about. Can I provide that help? Can I be that person to walk next to someone? And if I get an opportunity to kind of shed light on something, then that's incredible.
So then kind of along those lines, thinking about the clients that you love to work with, what are you really passionate about? Which areas do you love providing that support and insight?
Yeah, I love couples work in the fact that you're getting to do the work in the room, right? In individual counseling, you have to go implement the things that you learn in counseling or the things you talk about in counseling outside of the counseling room. But in couples work, you get to do it in the room. And so as a therapist, that's really rewarding. And I think it's also really encouraging for the people coming to therapy that the change is happening in the room. Like you're paying for the session and it's happening in that session. I also love working with individuals. So not to downplay individuals, I think working with men is a really incredible opportunity. I think that our society can sometimes downplay the need for men to be emotionally intelligent and to be able to communicate their emotional needs and wants. And I think that I understand that being a man to a certain degree. And so kind of being able to enter that space and create the space for men to be able to talk about what's really on their heart and minds. Counseling is a female-dominated space, and the females that I know that are counselors do an incredible job. But I know that sometimes people want to talk to someone they feel will really understand their lived experience. I think that what I come back to is I love to work with people that are searching through and trying to make meaning of different parts of their lives. I think this is one of the specialties that I listed, like meaning making. Life is so vast and beautiful and incredible. And a lot of times we can get stuck doing the same things, right? Like we have this feeling of being stuck. I think it's a feeling that a lot of people can relate to. And there are all these things in our lives that we can kind of grasp hold of and make meaning. And it's a really beautiful process. Sometimes we choose the wrong things to make meaning out of, right? Sometimes we choose the wrong things to kind of cling to our identity. But with the right things, it can be really incredible and create some really lasting change.
I love that. One of my husband and I's favorite books is Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning.
Yeah, I love
that book.
Yeah.
So good. It's so great. I would love for everyone who's listening to know what's like a fun fact about you, something that you enjoy doing or like a hobby or something like that.
I feel like I'm terrible with fun facts. And I also feel like I'm terrible with like superlatives. Like when anyone asks me like, what's my favorite fill in the blank?
Oh, same.
My brain goes, okay, let me think of like everything that could fit in that category. And then I have to sort it. And then I have to, and a lot of times that's not what people want. They just want anything, right? That I like. I don't know. I love doing physical activity things. I love to play basketball. That's kind of the main way that I spend my time right now. I love to read. I've been reading, a lot of fantasy book series recently. Brandon Sanderson is a really famous fantasy author. He just released a new book this month, and so I've been reading his books, and so that's been really cool. I've been reading that, but I think that there are a lot of things to be passionate about, and I love being around passionate people, and then kind of just taking in some of that passion. It's fun to do things with people when they really love to do that thing. And I can usually get on board. The thing that my wife and I do most consistently is going to concerts. We love to listen to live music. I think that music connects with me in a really deep way. So I think that that's, I don't know, kind of the broad strokes.
Well, I was going to share with you, your very first client ever submitted a feedback form that was like
Oh,
all positives and that they're super grateful for you. First session. I don't know if
wow.
did you know that?
No, I didn't know that, but I had a great experience meeting with the client. Yeah, I left the session, even though it was an online session, feeling super jazzed. And usually, I like online sessions, but I love sitting in the room with people. So wow, that's great to hear.
Cool. Yeah, I thought that was really neat. I just wanted to share that with you. So